Hey Disney friends, it's Amber with Mickey Travels. This channel is mostly about Disney World vacations because that is the trip that I book most often and most of the people that I work for go there the most. Because Disney World's just so all-inclusive, it's just an easier vacation for most. But there is the magic and vintage and nostalgic feel of Disneyland, and I do have many clients that go there as well. So I thought it was long past due that I actually do a Disneyland 101 video really quick for you. I am going to kind of break down what a Disneyland package includes and kind of show you like the difference between Disneyland and Disney World as far as package components and a little bit with the parks. So if you've been to Disney World a few times and you want to try something different, or you live on that side of the country and will be visiting Disneyland soon, hopefully this will kind of give you the basic idea of how those packages work. And then if you're interested in going or like more information on it, you can contact me and we can do a quote and see what's going on there. All right, let's get started.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
I've been to Disneyland twice. I went for my honeymoon. We did like a California trip. And then I went a few years ago and saw Disneyland in the fall, right after Radiator Springs and Cars Land opened up. I can tell you personally that Disneyland to me feels smaller, but it's not. It's all more compact, so it has that feel because you don't have the 25 resorts and you don't have 4 parks. Everything's right there and close, but there are more attractions at Disneyland than at Disney World. So the other thing I really loved about it is that in my heart, knowing that Walt Disney built that, was there, had the apartment, which I was able to actually go in. That's one of the things you can take a tour to go see that. They have that really great suite over in Pirates of the Caribbean area. It felt different, and it felt like he was there and being so important in my life that it was really nice to be able to walk in his footsteps in a sense. So let's go quickly over what this Disneyland experience is about. I've covered so many different resorts on the Disney World side because you have your value, moderate, etc. Disneyland has 3 resorts on property, and if you were to compare them with Disney World resorts, I would consider them all to be deluxes. They all have interior entrances, they all have table service and quick service locations, character meals, and then they also have concierge level, and that's the big thing. They all feature that compared to that only usually being in the deluxes at Disney World. The Paradise Pier would be the lowest level, which is themed to like your beachside experience. You have the Disneyland Hotel, which each tower or room area is dedicated to the different lands of Disneyland. So there's a Fantasyland section, an Adventureland section, etc. And then you have the Grand Californian, which is very close in look to the Wilderness Lodge. Also, if you are not going to be choosing one of those 3 because maybe they are out of your budget, Disney has what's called Good Neighbor Hotels, which Disney World also has but are a little farther off. But Disneyland has a ton to choose from that are in walking distance or maybe have better amenities for your family's needs. So what I usually book is about 50-50. I have clients who want the full Disneyland experience because with all 3 of those hotels, you can actually walk to either park. Downtown Disney is right there in the middle. It's very close, and staying at those properties is very helpful. However, if it doesn't fit their budget needs, then we look elsewhere. And I tend to ask, what are your amenities? And then we kind of do a search from there because there's so many. Do you want to be across the street from Disneyland? Do you want rooms that can sleep 5 because you have a larger family? Do you need free parking? Do you want the complimentary breakfast, which Disney World hotels and Disneyland hotels don't necessarily offer? Are you looking for something that is just affordable? So there's tons of things we can search for and find the perfect fit for that good neighbor. You can still get packages with Good Neighbor hotels. It won't be like chopped up and saying, here's the hotel, here's the tickets, etc. But you can book through Disney to get the Good Neighbor hotels too. There are 2 parks at Disneyland. We have Disneyland, and then we have Disney's California Adventure. And this is so crazy being like going to Disney World all the time. So Disney Springs, which is what Disney World has, downtown Disney is in Anaheim, and it is in between the 2 parks. And you can stand at one point in the middle of downtown Disney, but it's technically the end of it. and to my right would be Disneyland, and to my left would be California Adventure. You can literally look and see both entrances right there, which is different because at Disney World you have to take a bus and it takes 15-20 minutes to get somewhere, but you can be standing there and look at both entrances and just head in. So Disney's California Adventure actually walks into Disney's California Adventure, so you can, if you stay at that hotel, you can walk into the park through that entrance. And then Disneyland Hotel and Disney's California Adventure, all Grand Californian, and I don't know if I said that earlier like that. The Grand Californian Hotel and the Disneyland Hotel have entrances to downtown Disney, and then the Paradise Pier is a little further back. Okay, I hope that wasn't confusing. So dining plans, what do they offer? They don't have a dining plan like Disney World does. On your Disneyland package, you can actually add a character dining to the total, and it's going to be a voucher for an amount, and then you pay with your meal with that voucher. So it's not like a credit like at Disney World. So there are two types of character dinings you can add. There's a premium and then a basic, and they can be included at the Plaza with Minnie. Paradise Pier has a breakfast there. The Grand Californian has a storybook character breakfast with Chip and Dale and some other critters. Goofy's Kitchen in Disneyland Hotel has one as well. Okay, so how many days should you go? Well, there are 2 parks, and I usually encourage to stay at least 3 days for parks, so you can do 1 full day at each and then have 1 day deciding to go back and do your favorite things. So you can do base tickets or park hoppers just like Disney World. They offer extra magic hours and what they call morning magic. So if you buy 3 or more days of park tickets with your package, you'll get 1 morning that you can go in early to either park. If you stay in one of those 3 Disneyland hotels that I talked about, you can take advantage of their extra magic hours that they offer any day of the week. Fast passes are also at Disneyland, but they are completely different. They are on paper, which is what I missed. I had one, I kept it because it was kind of like an anomaly, because we used to have some perfect strategies with the fast passes back in the Disney World days. So how that works is you have to go to the attraction. To get the fast pass, you scan your ticket, it'll tell you a return time. And the trick was, it was like a 4-hour time period. So if you got something for a lot later in the day, you could actually go and get another fast pass as long as they were like 4 hours apart. Now Disney is offering what's called MaxPass, which will allow you to pay $10 per person per day to be able to actually get on their Disneyland app to make your fast pass selections. And you also get the photo pass for the day, so all your pictures can be included. How is that a benefit? Well, for a while there, people at California Adventure would sprint to Cars Land to try to get a paper fast pass and get on the ride. And now people that have MaxPass can actually, as soon as the park opens, get on their phone, get the fast pass that way, and then take their time and do whatever they want. So it isn't a running of the bulls in a sense. So I would take advantage of MaxPass. It's really beneficial as far as not having to go to the attraction to get the fast passes like you have to if you don't have it. Does Disneyland offer airport transportation? They do. It is not complimentary like at Disney World, and it actually goes to the 3 Disneyland resorts and also can go to the Good Neighbor hotels. So that can be included with your package. It is a round trip, and they take off about every hour or so. So it's not just get there and kind of get taken like at Disney World. If you get there at a certain time, they'll let you know when the bus will arrive and will take you to your hotel. There are no magic bands at Disneyland. You actually get a card that will be your ticket. So the biggest thing here is that there are more attractions. And the way that Walt wanted it built, he kind of had the way he put the trees in, that they would grow over the park, so it was all confined. It's really hard to see some of the Disney attractions from the road because of all the greenery that is taking over from it. So it does kind of feel like you're all enclosed. I can tell you from the hotel that I stayed at, I've stayed at the Disneyland, you can see the park from most of the rooms, and so that Paradise Pier and the Grand Californian have perfect fireworks views. So that is another perk to staying at those 3. So I've taken in, I did a list of some of the things I saw or I feel like are must-sees when you go to Disneyland, just because they are different from what Disney World offers. Yes, they have similar attractions, but some of the attractions are different. For example, Space Mountain at Disneyland, I feel like you go up very high and then the whole time you're just trying to make your way down. While at Disney World, there's all kinds of cuts and corners and it's really hard to predict. Star Tours is located in Disneyland, which is something that is at Hollywood Studios at Disney World. So they have a lot of the same attractions, but they are confined into just the 2 parks. It's Tough to Be a Bug is at California Adventure. All right, so here's my list of must-sees. So the 2 nighttime shows that you can, well, there's 3, but the 2 that I recommend seeing are World of Color at California Adventure and Paint the Night Parade. But Paint the Night was beautiful. Loved it. They also do have Fantasmic there. It is a little different, and it is at Disneyland on the Rivers of America. Radiator Springs Racers, I mentioned earlier. The whole Cars Land in general is just extremely cute. That will probably have the longest wait of most of the attractions. And I'm sure you've seen video footage of it, but it's a fantastic ride. Sounds, smells, everything that you see is just very authentic to the movies. Tower of Terror there has recently switched to a Guardians of the Galaxy attraction, so that's something to check out as well. The Matterhorn at Disneyland is something that you cannot find at Disney World, and you've heard the story that there's a basketball court in the Matterhorn. There are lots and lots of dark rides that are at Disneyland that aren't at Disney World. The big one being Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, which was taken out of Disney World. There is a Pinocchio's Daring Adventure ride. There is an Alice in Wonderland sit-through ride. Snow White's Scary Adventures is there, which was taken out at Disney World. So lots of cool original things are there. It's a Small World is different. I actually think it's better at Disneyland. They have Disney characters in the ride, so they're hidden within the countries as you sail through, which makes it super cute seeing Aladdin and Jasmine on the carpet as little It's a Small World people doing like this on it. It's so cute. And as far as restaurants, I would suggest my pick would be the Blue Bayou restaurant. So that restaurant is inside Pirates of the Caribbean, which again is also different. And the ride goes through as you're eating, so it's really neat. It is, I would guess, a $3 bill sign restaurant, so that means it's in the upper tier as far as restaurant costs. Club 33 is at Disneyland. If you are a major Disney fan, you know what that's about. Having a yearly membership to this private club that Disney had created. Haunted Mansion is different. It's got a different feel on the outside, and then the inside has some different things like the Hatbox Ghost. And the whole monorail system is different. The monorail actually goes into the park to let you out. So if you wanted to catch the monorail at Downtown Disney and go into the park, that is possible if you didn't want to wait in line at the main entrance. Just like Disney World, there are parties there. They do have Halloween parties and Christmas parties. The decor is very similar. The hours are a little different because of the weather and time there. They don't stay open as late as Disney World does. And then the last thing I want to talk about is the people who live in California. So when we went, during the day was actually less crowded than after 5 o'clock because there are so many annual pass holders over there that come after work or do the Dapper Days where they all dress up. It's just the annual pass holders at Disney World aren't usually from Florida. They are from states that are close by that maybe did visit 2 or 3 times a year. But with Disneyland, a lot of people who live in California will go for the weekend or just go for an evening, and they go to eat, they go to ride a couple of rides. They're there all the time. I think we experienced the most crowds at night that I had ever seen. Just California people really cherish the whole Disneyland experience and its authenticity of it being Walt's baby, and they love it and they cherish it. And there are tons of YouTubers that go to Disneyland all the time if you guys have never checked them out. I hope this wasn't confusing. I just wanted to kind of give you like a rundown of this is why it's different. Here's the feel of it. Here's what's available. Here's what's not. But I have been there a few times. I've booked tons of trips on it. So if this is something you're thinking about, this video interested you and you clicked on it, and you maybe want to think about going if you're going to be in California for something else and want to spend a few days there, hopefully this helped. And if you need some help planning that Disneyland vacation, be sure to contact me. My info is below and my services are free and I'd be happy to help you. All right, have a magical day. I will talk to you really soon. Bye.